Well, Bob Mueller's investigation may be over, but the Department of Justice is not ready to put it aside. That much is clear after news broke last night that Attorney General Bill Barr is tasking U.S. Attorney John Durham out of Connecticut to look into how the Russiagate probe started and how it unfolded. Now, Durham has a history of working on government oversight for both political parties, but many on Capitol Hill aren't thrilled, as you can imagine, about the news. So for the 360 View, we have to turn to our political panel. We have Earl and we have Steve Malzberg. Thank you so much for joining me, gentlemen.
My pleasure.
Great to be here.
Okay, so Earl, you're in LA. You're a distinguished, as someone who has given us great consultation on political happenings that are going on. Democrats are going to now accuse Trump of using the DOJ as a political weapon, something that we've heard go back and forth across the aisle. But between the FBI text messages, the way the Steele dossier was used in FISA warrants, all the connections between the DOJ and Fusion GPS, haven't we seen enough to warrant this type of an investigation?
Well, you're absolutely right. The Democrats are going to scream foul, foul, foul. They're saying, look, Robert Mueller, he issued his report. We saw some of it, not all of it. There's still a big battle over that. We've issued subpoenas. We're going and continuing our battle to get openness and transparency and a full, really, rendering and a report from the Trump administration. What went on? What did he know? What did he do or didn't do? Democrats are still doing this. So here's the problem. Actually, for the Trump administration and Democrats, it's politics and optics. Politics, of course, the Democrats versus Republicans, Mueller in the middle, and now Attorney General William Barr. So it does appear to be partisanship on the part of Trump, the Trump administration. William Barr has said, I accuse the Democrats, or I'm thinking, that there could be spying in the campaign against Donald Trump. Now, that's what Trump has said, and this is what brings up the optics. The question is Attorney General William Barr acting on his own, independently, genuinely concerned about getting the facts, or is he just shilling for Donald Trump? That is a question on the table, and that's what makes it look bad for William Barr, not to mention the timing of this.
You know what, Steve, Earl brings up a very good point. It's talking about the motivation. Now, Republicans could say the same thing. What was the motivation of the Mueller report all along? Was it about actually finding out if there was a foreign government involved in our election, or was it to take down Trump and show that there was collusion between the person who's now president? So it kind of goes both ways. That being said, though, shouldn't we know where this all started, and why did the Mueller investigation include the reasoning and the beginning behind this investigation in his report? You're
absolutely right. Well, that's a great question.
I'm sorry, Steve. Steve, yes.
It doesn't matter what the motivation is to me. Is Barr doing this on his own? Did Trump ask him? Trump says he didn't ask him to do it, but Trump has certainly tweeted and said that this should be investigated. We have so much evidence, as you pointed out, Scottie, in front of us about FBI agents texting each other, the two lovers. We're going to have an insurance policy in case he wins, and we're going to get this guy, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, the unorthodoxy of this whole investigation, how it was open, why it was open. And I got to tell you, when Christopher Wray was asked the other day, the head of the FBI, do you have any evidence, personal evidence, that you know of illegal spying on the Trump campaign? He said, I don't think I have any. That's not an answer. That's leaving himself a whole latitude to come back to Congress and redo his whole testimony. I don't think. You know or you don't know. Not I don't think I have any. That's not an answer. So this stinks to high heaven. And if they could show that this was some kind of effort to overthrow either a sitting president or undermine an election of a president, it doesn't matter what the origin was.
Well, it's interesting because, Earl, the latest investigator, John Durham, has a track record of looking into government wrongdoing on behalf of both parties. I think both can agree on that. He reviewed the FBI's relationship with notorious mob boss Whitley Bulger, and he also investigated the CIA's destruction of torture videotapes. Isn't this exactly who we need right now to settle this scandal once and for all?
The problem I have, and I think still we come back to optics again, timing is everything. We just can't simply say it stinks to high heaven, because the same could be said on the other side. Trump has said from day one that my campaign was basically subverted. My campaign was spied on by the Democrats. But I got to tell you, that's only Trump saying that. But now we have William Barr, the Attorney General, pretty much saying the same thing. Again, there's a problem here. No matter how objective John Durham may be or may not be, we don't know. It still looks, when we go back to timing, it looks bad. It looks like it's politically motivated on the part of the Trump administration.
Right. Okay. So, Steve, your response, because Bill Barr did make headlines a few weeks ago when he told Congressional Committee that he believed the FBI did spy on the Trump campaign. Chris Way wasn't subtle about saying the same thing. He rebuking it. So Trump wasn't pleased about it. Should Trump not actually get some way, some answers for whether or not there was spying by a government, whether foreign or domestic, on his campaign?
And we're going to get that answer. And by the way, you're right. I mean,
thank you. Can you say that again? As many times as you can say that, I appreciate it, because I don't get it said often.
Right. Because you know, the Senate in 2017, when Trump nominated the man who's now going to do the investigation for his position as U.S. Attorney, he was unanimously approved by the Senate. And the two Democratic senators in Connecticut, Blumenthal and Murphy, called him fair and ferocious as a prosecutor. Let's see how quickly it takes. What time is it? When is that going to change? That he's a partisan and that he's a hack and that he's unfair. But look, again, I don't think, with all due respect, and I respect our other guest here tremendously through the years, but I don't think the optics matter to the American public right now. If they find that this was illegally launched, they're going to have hell to pay on the Democrat side.
Earl, and that being said, are you expecting anything else to come out of this, or is this just going to be, once again, a couple of headlines that we're going to continue to pass through?
Okay, probably not. At this point in time, it's he said, she said, and that's pretty much where it's going to stand. But I don't think that we can leave it at that it doesn't matter to the American public. The optics, it certainly matters to the Trump administration and the Democratic Party. Politics and optics, they go hand in hand. You can't separate the two.
Well, the optics of the two of you discussing this as respectfully as you have means a lot to me, and I thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Earl and Steve.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.